Now, how about guys? How do guys do that in return? How can you?
By having a strong sense of purpose and not being distracted by female energy.
Yeah, I mean, does a girl want a guy who is that affected?
No.
You guys ever see the movie American Pie? Do you remember the girl Nadia? Was it Jason Biggs? Is that the guy, right? And just looking at her with his clothes off, or with her clothes off, he's like, oh, right? And then he finishes. So see, on one level, right, and that's very unattractive, right? So on one level, look, the girl wants the guy who's responding to her, right? She wants the guy who's attracted, but she wants to play the game of trying to do that to you. That's her fun. Do you see that? Her fun in this is like that little game, like how can I get him, right? Like how can I get that attention? How can I, make him respond? All right? And that's like what sex is, like when you're having sex and the girl's like trying to turn you on. She's trying to, get you to respond. All right? And so, and then you, do the same back, right? And so on and so forth. So the thing is like, on one level, yeah, she wants you to respond, but on another level, not too much, all right? You have to be centered, and then maybe it's almost like this. You're centered, and then she kind of pulls you out a bit, then you get your center back. She might pull you out a bit, you get your center back. Whereas most guys, what is it like? Okay, right? No center at all. So, for guys, first up, the first thing that you can do, but I'll get into the pros and cons of this, is called flipping the script. And this is a fascinating concept. By the way, I don't do it myself, but I used to, and I'll tell you the pros and cons of it. Flipping the script, I believe, I'm not totally sure, is an old pimp term. Is that right, guys? Anyone know about this? Okay, well, you guys know what a pimp is, right? They seem to be getting popular these days. Like, it seems to be like a cool thing to be a pimp, which is actually probably one of the least respectful professions you could have, but nonetheless, it's gotten to be cool because they have a kind of style about them. Well, what pimps will do is they'll flip the script. So, like, one thing that pimps do is like they won't have sex with the girl, right? Like they won't sleep with their girl. That's like one of the things that they'll do, and they make the girl chase them, or they'll say, "Here, take my phone number. I'm not going to call you." Like they'll do stuff like that. That's called flipping the script. Now, a lot of these behaviors, like for example, rewarding the girl with little taste of physical attention and then pulling it away. Looking like you're having fun by the energy of the environment and maybe giving her a bit of attention. This can flip the script and get a girl chasing you. What's also interesting about it is this, though. When you're playing off of a feminine polarity, all right, when you're flipping the script, you are using that feminine polarity. And so what you'll find that you'll get is you'll get a lot of girls asking if you're gay. Okay? Has anyone ever had that before? All right. So see, what happens is you're tapping into that kind of feminine polarity, and that what begins to happen is you can come across as being gay. And some girls like that. Like some girls want, like they're like incredibly attracted to gay dudes, right? And so when I first started a lot of this, I was always flipping the script all the time, and that and I used to get asked that a lot. But I still got a lot of attraction, so it was still working. But how about a masculine polarity then? All right. When we think of masculine polarity. And we're not flipping the script, all right? We're not necessarily trying to flip the script. What are some things that a guy can do without flipping the script in order to assert polarity? Because I think it's fun to flip the script a little bit. Like, I like to flip the script a little bit just to flirt, maybe like a little bit here and there just as a tease, but it's not like the basis of what I'm doing.
It makes them drop their guard. Takeaways?
Flipping the script is fun, a little bit. Just to kind of like, just like throw out little teases like that. But that's not the basis of what I'm doing at this point. All right, so first of all, first quality that a guy with a very strong polarity has is being at home in the environment. The idea of being at home in your environment has so many ramifications, it's not even funny. All right? Just the idea that you are at home. Okay? The catchphrase is, my house. All right? You guys ever heard that? Yep. This is my house. When you're out at a club and you don't feel like it's your house, you don't feel at home there, women can sense that. It is written all over you. So basically, it's like that nice combination where it's like, this is my house, and everybody here is my friend. So when you approach the girl, You're approaching her as if you're already friends in a way, with that full expectation that you're already friends. It's like, this is my house, this is my environment, we're already friends. Some guys are able to achieve that by going out to the same venue over and over and over. Do any of you guys here have like a favorite venue that you go to over and over? All right. Do you guys notice how when you know the bouncer, you know the promoter, you know the bartender, you know the people there, how much more attractive you are to women when you have that, right? And it's not because they even know that you know anybody, it's because they can sense you're at home, all right? In a minute, I'm going to talk about what it means to be at home in the world, but we'll get to that. So look, approaching people as if they're your friends. Now look, next, carrying yourself with total confidence, even a playful cockiness. Total confidence and even a playful cockiness. So have you ever seen a guy, like, a group of guys, they walk with total confidence, and maybe they kind of like throw their arms around a bit or joke around a bit, jump around a bit, and they've got like a little bit of playful cockiness. All right? You guys ever heard the expression of swagger? All right? What's the swagger mean? Does it mean you're like, okay? Is that what it is? Is that the swag? Right? Like, okay?
Move a little more slowly than most guys, and you're not scanning anywhere. You're just like in your body. You're very grounded.
Yeah.
And you're moving towards where you're going. You're not in a hurry. You
Yeah.
know where you're going, and you're just.
You know what's up. You're feeling the vibe in yourself, right? Yeah. That's a swag, man. That's a swagger, right? And you can see some guys that do not have the swagger. They're kind of like that, and some guys, they've just got like that relaxed thing. That's a swagger. It's like they're feeling that within their body. And on a very, very subtle level, okay, not an exaggerated, cartoonish, comic level, but on a very subtle level, they've got that kind of emanating from them, all right? That's a swagger. Now, we talked about grounding energy. Being the source of grounding energy and asserting them what you have to say is funny, interesting, and worth being heard. So look, when you see a guy who's really confident, when he speaks, he knows that what he has to say is interesting. He knows that what he has to say is worth being heard. He knows that what he has to say is funny. Even when what he's saying is not objectively funny, it is subjectively funny. And people will tend to laugh at it. He thinks it's funny. He's self-amusing. Next up, leading the conversation in the fun or whatever direction you want it to go. All right, we talked about being the anchor of the conversation, moving the conversation in the fun direction that you want it to go in. One thing that Tim likes to do, if a girl starts talking about serious things in a club, he'll say, "What are you talking about this for? This is a club." That's because he's leading the conversation. Do the same. Take it in the direction that you want it to go. That's called being the man. Likewise, okay, and look, if the conversation that this is where guys get confused, right? If the girl is having a conversation with you that you are interested in, do you have to change it onto something else to make her like you?
No.
Of course not. But guys get stuck in that. They're like, "Oh, I need to change the conversation." Now, look, you're leading the conversation in the direction that you want it, but if you're enjoying what she's saying, then ultimately she's speaking for your approval now, isn't she? Yes. She's speaking for your enjoyment. So let her, right? You don't need to lead it. But the point is the conversation is where you're enjoying it. All right, how about taking orders, justifying yourself, or responding to nonsense? It's the same thing. And lastly, and this is very, very, very subtle. This is a subtle, subtle distinction that is absolutely pivotal to being a natural. Positioning yourself as already chosen by every girl in the environment, and you are choosing the girl that you like.
What do you mean?
All right, let me get into the subtleties of it. All right, so I'm gonna pick you up for a sec, okay? So we'll hop over here. All right, now say that a girl's walking by, okay? And you say that she's, okay, yeah, here. Walk by, right? And you go, "Hey, who are you?" Okay? Right? Or same thing, like say that you're walking here, walk over here. All right, no need to worry, okay? Now look, just be walking back this way, walk this way. All right? "Hey, okay, who are you?" Okay? Okay? All right? Now see, look what I'm doing there. From one angle, you guys could see that this would be me trying to get her. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get her, all right? But no, that's not what I'm doing. When I'm pulling in, I'm saying now is your chance. All right, so have a seat. Thank you. Okay. You guys give a clap for him for doing that. Okay, thank you. All right, coming from the audience. All right, so look, ultimately, when you pull a girl in to speak with her, it's not like you're trying to impress. What you're really doing is it's like, look, you are assuming that you're already chosen by everyone there. Okay? Think of yourself as like the guy whose house it is. It's your party. It's your house. All right? Tim would call that being the Lord. So it's your party, your house, and you're like, you're speaking here. You see a girl who you want to talk to, so now you're pulling her in saying, who are you? Or maybe introduce yourself or whatever it is. And basically what the unconscious sub-communication is, now is your chance.
Sounds
right?
Like tapping?
Sure. Hey, boom, start talking, okay? Now is her chance to speak with you. So basically what you're saying is, I take what I want. I see what I want, I take it. Why is that an attractive thing to a woman, a man who sees what he wants and takes it?
Shows your strength of intention and you're acting in accordance with the purpose. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Look, if you're a guy who does not take the things that he wants, how can she trust you? What can she know about you? So you have to be a guy who's, we talked about resourcefulness, right? The girl wants to see that it's not like you're like, hey, baby, look at these things I've accomplished in life. I'm so resourceful. But it's almost like that subtle level of resourcefulness, that really subtle level, and she can see that, all right? She sees that you're a guy who's at home in the world. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking the frame of, I'm already chosen by everybody, and I'm giving you a chance to speak. Now look, as a newbie, going out and trying something like that, it's a stretch. I'm not going to lie, right? You're like, okay, I'm the chosen one, all right? The chosen one. You're like, who are you, right? And it's not going to be there at first. But carrying yourself as the one who is already chosen, almost like, imagine the way that a guy like Prince William or Prince Harry, the kind of belief systems that they would have, the ways that they would carry themselves, right? They're already chosen by countless women. So at this point, if they want to speak with a girl, they'll go over and speak with her. All right? So this is very much the opposite of sort of like, hooking her in very indirectly. This is like you just see what you want, you take it. It's needy if you're going in there and giving your power away. It's highly, highly needy. But when you're not giving your power away, it's extremely effective. Let me tell you how effective it is. It's so effective and so easy that when you figure it out, you'll probably start to develop an ego around it and it'll stop working. That's how effective it is. Because when I first learned this, when I first learned that all that you really have to do to attract women is just walk up, pull them over and say, who are you? And sit there, I couldn't believe it. All right? I was like, this is amazing. And I would look at other guys. I got to the point where if any guys are putting in any effort to be successful with women, I almost thought it was a joke. I was like, I feel bad for the man. They don't realize the truth. You just walk up, pull her over, and she'll start qualifying herself to you. So you can actually look at some of my old boot camp testimonials where they're like, Tyler just walks up to the girl and she just sits there qualifying herself to him. It's amazing. All right? And that's because I basically learned, how to be the selector. Do you want to know what started to happen to me, though? About a month in, when it was working really, really well, I got to the point where I was like, I wasn't really doing it to be the selector anymore. I was just doing it to prove that my new theory worked. Right? It was like, I'm going to prove that this theory works. And so now, I wasn't going in there to be the selector anymore, was I? I was going in there to get validation. Was it validation of myself? No. It was validation of the technique. That's also why. What is one of the worst identities that you can have for yourself?
Pickup artist.
A pickup artist. Why is that? Because if every girl that you're approaching, you're trying to validate the identity, I'm a pickup artist, then even though you're not needy for her, you don't even want her approval, you just want her approval that you're a pickup artist. What is the only guy in the world who wants validation even from a girl who he's not attracted to at all? A pickup artist. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So the thing is, that's why that's a horrible identity. A real man, like a guy with a really strong polarity, he's not going up to the girl going, let me validate my pickup artist identity. All right? What he's doing is he's just being the selector. I'm interested to talk to her. Let's see what she's about. So essentially, the girl views it as an opportunity to speak with you. Okay?
When it doesn't work, sometimes doesn't that affect your ego as a chooser, though, and you have to defend that?
There's a whole can of worms that happens when it doesn't work, and we're going to talk about that today and tomorrow.
Is this why you say just laugh your ego away so none of this ever happens?
Oh yeah, look. That whole big pimp image that you have of yourself, get over it. Get over it. All right, now look. What is this doing to girls? In the same way, you guys remember how, for a girl, what's happening is that she's putting her polarity, and what's the guy feeling? She could leave it any second, right? So the guy's like, I have to keep being the good energy. I have to keep providing the good energy. And so he's feeling that draw. Well, likewise, when you as a guy have a lot of polarity, what she's basically feeling is that you will do whatever you want. You're the chooser, you will do whatever you want. As a result, because you're going to do whatever you want, on some level, she always knows that you could just stand up and go get another girl, doesn't she? She always knows that. So, for example, have any of you guys ever been doing really well with a girl, maybe you're sitting on a stool and she starts dancing in front of you? You ever had that? She just starts grinding and dancing in front of you, and she's trying to hold your attention. And what you can even do is, like, when she does, like, a really good, like, dancing, you, like, really look entranced, and then when it's not quite as good, you might kind of just, like, you know, wander a bit, and then she tries to pull your attention back, and she loves that, right? That's, like, the flirtation, okay? So, it's the same kind of thing, all right? I guess, on a certain level, what these behaviors do is they make the girl feel like she's in a warm blanket when she's around you, all right? She feels protected and having fun while in your presence, but also challenged by the fact that you're so indifferent to social constraints that if she doesn't hold your attention, you might stray. So what is the difference between guys and girls? The key difference. What I'm going to teach you guys next is the source of polarity. All right? Where it comes from, how to get it, and how to create a situation where when you're speaking to a girl, you can just stand there totally still, and she's going to feel those emotions going through.